What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? And welcome to episode number 20 of The Daily Show with DanRam. I am DanRam, and this is The Daily Show. We have literally done this for 20 days in a row. It started off as a little experiment in my bedroom, and it continues as a little experiment in my bedroom, except now broadcasting into your living rooms and bedrooms all over the world. I just want to say a special welcome to my VIP guests, which are you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Last week, we had such an amazing lineup of speakers. I think you'd agree with me that there was so much learning, so much gold. Who knew that you could gain so much insight for free on live stream, right? This is fresh. This is fun. And I'm really, really enjoying it. Today, we're setting the bar even higher. We've got an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, a change maker, a woman on a mission here. She's going to talk to us about living an unforgettable life. So, no doubt, this conversation is going to be also unforgettable. But I just want to give a shout out to everybody here. So, we've got Ram saying, hey, good to see you. Good to see you, Ram. Ram, you've been writing to me about something new that you have been creating around this whole theme of Start Now, Start Soon, which I keep talking about. So if you want to chat, if you want to share that in the comment section, I'd love to direct people to what you're working on. As you know, this show, we bring some amazing guests, but the show is also about meeting your Corona mates, as I say, and so celebrating the amazing community that are here. So Ram is a hustler, he's a bassist, and he's been working on something fresh for the bass world. Alex, my man, says, great lineup of speakers. He's obviously saying that because he's one of the speakers that's coming on the show. I'm just kidding. He is coming on the show, but Alex is also just such a sweet, wonderful man. And Alex is doing something special. We're going to be 4 people on the show talking at the exact same time when he comes on. We got Liam Murphy, who is a vlogger and a content creator in Ireland, who is giving a wave. So a wave back to you, Liam. So far, we've got 3 continents in the house, which isn't bad. This is pretty good. Let me know where you're watching from so I can welcome you to the show. And to get the ball rolling on this whole concept of living an unforgettable life, I would love for you to remember life pre-coronavirus. It feels like we've been in this forever, but hardly 5 weeks ago, we were living a pretty amazing life compared to what we have right now, relatively speaking. I would love for you to share, and this isn't boasting, this isn't gloating, this is just celebrating. I would love for you to share what was an unforgettable moment that you had in your life so far. And I think a lot of it is just about gratitude. I really believe in like rewiring your brain. And I think if you're grateful and you celebrate the moments in your life, then great things happen. This is just my simple belief. And so in light of gratitude and celebration and not boasting and gloating, if you would like to share something that you are grateful for, that you appreciate in your life, something that was unforgettable, I'd love for us to have a conversation about it, because we're going to be talking about how to have an unforgettable life and how to use this moment. That's right, this moment that we're in to be part of that unforgettable passage and journey that is life. So that is something I'd love for you to share. Also, for those who are riddle fans, I've got a riddle for you. Here we go. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? That is your riddle for today. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? All right, so Mama is watching, and she says the gift of life is her unforgettable moment, which is awesome. For those who are confused why I'm calling her Mama, DanRam is short for Daniel Ramamurthy, and so that's what makes Ram connect to Ramamurthy here, and that's my mom. And she says the gift of life is what is unforgettable. I guess that's all of it. I guess I'm asking for some being more specific, like which moment in this gift of life was the most unforgettable, especially me being born, but then what else was unforgettable? I'd love to know. All right, so with no further ado, I want to welcome on to the stage, aka the screen, the wonderful entrepreneur, speaker, author, it's Saba Ali. Hello.
Hello, what's going on, Dan? I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited for you to be here on this little live stream because you usually float around in the world of ABC and NBC and like major television networks. And now you are in my little live stream broadcasting from my bedroom. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, these are like my most favorite type of interviews to do just because I feel like we're so connected even though we're not in like the same country, right?
That is right. That is right. Where are you right now?
So I'm based in the States, so I'm actually in South Florida, Miami.
Nice. Good warm weather.
Yeah, warm weather. Originally, I'm from Iowa, where it's like probably snowing right now, so it's good that I just moved here about a month ago.
Good timing. And
Yeah.
then lock in so you can focus on home improvement and setting everything up. You have no excuse for a shabby house.
There you
when
go.
Your parents come and visit, you'll be like, well, you had 4 weeks of a lockdown to make this happen. Well, before you get too comfortable in your seat there, Saba, we do something called the rapid fire round. And essentially, you have 60 seconds to answer as many of these questions as possible. The first question being, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. 60 seconds starts right now. What compliment do people give you the most?
You're pretty.
What fashion trend do you just not get?
Hats.
Favorite Netflix show?
I don't watch Netflix.
Okay. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Being unforgettable. That's 2 words.
If you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
Ooh, any animal, a bird, because they can fly anywhere and get anywhere really fast.
True. Unless you are, I was going to say an ostrich, but ostriches move really fast. So, but they can't fly.
Yeah, that's true too.
We have digressed. I'm going to add a few more seconds here. Who do you admire the most?
Ooh, my mom, who passed away when I was younger, but I still admire her a lot.
Nice. Are you a morning or a night person?
Morning.
What is one item you could never live without?
My phone.
Same answer for me. Last question. How do you define happiness?
If you are doing what you love every single day, whatever that may be.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you for playing the rapid fire round. To remind people who are joining right now, today we're going to talk about something that seems ironic, but I promise it's not. Mm-hmm. And the topic is, how do you live an unforgettable life? And yes, that includes now. And yes, both Saba and I are fully aware that there is this thing called COVID-19 happening and that there is recession looming and that people are struggling. We're fully aware, but we're going to be uncompromising on this topic of an unforgettable life. So I've asked people to share what has been their most unforgettable moment so far. So far, we've only had my mom message. So guys, comment, let us know. To kick things off, I want to ask you, Saba, I'm sure you've had lots and lots of unforgettable moments, but what's one that stands out to you? What's been an unforgettable moment so far?
Oh, yeah, I've had so many unforgettable moments, but I think my most unforgettable moment was actually when I gave my first TEDx talk. And I was 21 when I did it. And the reason why it was such a unforgettable moment was because, for one, I grew up as a really shy person. So never in a million years would I have thought about speaking on stage, let alone doing a TEDx talk.
Yeah.
And number 2, my talk was all about turning your pain into purpose, right? So taking something, even like with what's going on right now, and creating purpose out of it. So there was just so much meaning behind doing that talk. And I'll never forget, me walking on stage, giving that talk for 15 minutes, and then, walking off and making people, laugh and cry throughout the entire 15 minutes too.
That is awesome. Turning your pain into purpose. That's profound already. And you've only been on this thing for 120 seconds now. That's amazing. Perry asks, what's a TEDx talk? Do you want to explain it? And also, Perry's in Scotland. He's an amazing teenager in Scotland. So what is a TEDx talk and where can they find your TEDx talk?
Yeah, so TEDx Talks, it's pretty much an organization where they pretty much like hold events all over the world, like in different countries, and it pretty much they get speakers to talk about different revolutionary ideas that are pretty much different than like the normal standard. So if you simply just type in TEDx on Google, you look at their website, you can see like all the list of events and different speakers and genres and everything that they do. So I know like yearly they have like an entire big national TEDx conference. It's usually held, I feel like, I want to say it's in Canada, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah.
It is in Canada.
I've never been there, but I would love to go one day. But you can find mine if you simply just type in my name and TEDx in Google. Mine will pop up, and I have two that I've done so far.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
TEDx was a big moment in my speaking journey. So for any of you that are watching and want to become speakers, TEDx is an important milestone. At least for me, it was, and it set the bar higher. And then last year, I did 4 TEDx's. So I've got a total of 5 in the books, and one that's on the official website, which is awesome. And Saba's is on the official TED.com, TEDx.com website. Is it? I think mine's on TED.com/, but you gotta look up like DanRam. But anyway, I'm gonna put her name on so you can see it. Saba Ali. Look her up and follow her content. It's amazing. She's on all the platforms and also on her website, which is just her name, sabaali.com. So let's talk about a unforgettable moment. Alex is volunteering here, and he says, giving a scholarship I won to someone else. Wow. Alex is like one of the most generous people in the world I know. Not just for this, but like every time he shares something, I'm just like, how is this guy so awesome?
Yeah.
So
cool.
Simeon is amazing. He works for the U.S. Army. He's working frontline in New York City right now, and he's saying hello from New York. So thank you so much, Simeon, for watching as well. Shout out to all of you who are watching. One of my, it feels like ages ago, but was hardly a few months ago when life was a little bit more normal. But I've always wanted, there's been 2 people that I've wanted to introduce and talk to. And that was President Obama and Oprah Winfrey. And so last year I got to finally meet and introduce and have on stage President Obama, which was awesome. Although my most unforgettable moment seems trivial, but to me was important in that when we were done, he tapped me on the back and said, "Thanks, Dan." And it seems tiny, but the fact that he remembered my name meant a lot, right? Because how many people does the guy meet, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
He forgot an hour later, but in that moment, I was so validated.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of my most unforgettable moments. And of course, having like Beyonce's brass band there and performing with them while introducing him over, that was all part of what was unforgettable. My next one is going to be meeting Oprah at some point. That's got to happen.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
David says, wow, that's amazingly generous, Alex. Can't wait for your show. So yes, keep the comments going. We'll keep including you in our conversation. If we had a different platform, we'd have a whole bunch of boxes with your faces on it, but that's not really making sense in this platform.
Yeah.
So Simeon Hill says, that's amazing. Was it intimidating? I have to admit, Simeon, I'm not sure if that question is for Alex, who gave away his scholarship, or for Saba, who gave a TEDx talk, or for me. So maybe explain who that question is, because I'm sure all of those are intimidating in its own way. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, Saba. Is now an appropriate time to be talking about an unforgettable life?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the reason why is because, for one, like, yes, we're going through a time where there is so much like distress and uncertainty, and people are getting anxiety, losing their jobs. Like, everything that's going wrong is happening right now. However, like, even before we jumped on the show, we were talking about this, Dan, how a lot of like the moments in my life the most unforgettable moments were also when it was a really low time in my life. So,
Yes.
like backstory, when I was like growing up, like I've been through a lot of trauma in my life too. Like when I was in high school, when I was 14, I was in like a terrible 4-year toxic relationship. Well, then when I was 15, I lost my mom. And like when I went to college, I went down a bad path and I was drinking. I was like lost. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. But as I went through each and every one of those moments, I was learning different things that I applied and shifted in my life right now. So
Yeah.
like it's always about just shifting your perspective and seeing like everything happens for a reason. I always tell myself that. So like this few months that we've been in quarantine or however long it's been or however long this will last, it's giving us the opportunity to actually slow down and realize what we actually want. And a
Yes.
lot of the times, I've been talking to so many more people within this past few weeks, within this month, and they've been realizing things that they actually want to be doing right now. Maybe they are out of work, or maybe they finally are just getting into starting their business online and they never had the opportunity to do it until right now. So I believe it's just such an amazing time to really sit down and think about what it is you might have been putting off, or
Right.
different opportunities that maybe you didn't have time to do because you were just so busy and caught up in like everyday life.
Yes. That is so true. And I think taking inventory or stock of your life is
Uh-huh.
so necessary for growth, reflection, because so much of us are caught in like the rat race of life. And if you're able
Yeah.
to take pause at some point, it actually can be really edifying. And I know for some people it can be scary to pause
Mhm.
and to think and reflect. But if you go through the process, it can actually be really, really edifying. So we got here, there's no time like the present. And that is so true. You got to grab the opportunity that is here right now. Um, what needs to happen? What needs to break to have an unforgettable life? How do you set yourself up for that?
Yeah. So the main thing that I would say is getting out of your own way. And the reason why I say that is because, like, even for myself, there's still so much obviously I want to do. But in the beginning, when I first got into the online space, when I started to build up my audience, my brand, when I got into my business, there were just so
Right.
many limiting beliefs that I had about myself. Like, oh, you can't do this. You don't have enough experience. Like, you're
Right.
so, so young. No one's gonna, listen to you. No one's gonna take you seriously. And the main thing is like, because I talk to like hundreds of entrepreneurs, like dozens of entrepreneurs every single day. And as I'm having conversations with these people and even normal people, just people that are working jobs, the main thing that it comes back to is them doubting or fearing about certain things that hasn't happened yet. So
Mm,
once again, they're living either in the future, in the past, not in the now. So when you
yeah.
shift and you focus your perspective on what's going on right now and you only take action now, even in the future, it's still going to be now. So in the future, if you want to be, living in a different city, or if you want to be making thousands of dollars, or if you want to be married to this person, like you envisioning that, and when it actually happens, it's still going to be now. So
Right.
people are either living in the past or the future, which is why they get so much anxiety and depression. They're so uncertain because you can't control it. Right.
Yeah.
So the only thing you really can do is just focus on what you can do, like right this second.
I love that. That is so very true. And you started by saying about self-limiting beliefs.
Mhm.
And that is so true. I run with a running partner every morning, mostly because I hate running. And so if I have an accountability partner, it just makes I don't want to not look good. And so I'll show up, even though I don't really want to. And he'll often tell me, like when we're doing like our closing lap or something, like I think I can only do 3 laps. And I'd be
Mhm.
like, that's just in your brain. Like physically you're able to do 5 or 10. We both are. It's just your brain saying I can only do 3. And
Mhm.
like, so get beyond your brain. And Simon here agrees with you. He says, getting out of your own way. Never thought about that. Thought about it like that. That's great advice. And that is so true. And so I think, and I always say this, the greatest battleground is in our own minds. And
Mhm.
when you win that battle, when you start saying yes to yourself, then everything flows. We're so often looking for someone else to say yes, someone else to validate, someone else to open a door, someone else to elevate us. Just do it yourself. Like, you know, win
Yeah.
that battle in your own head and believe, and then it'll happen.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this unforgettable life, what can people do right now? Because getting out of your way is like a nice motivational mantra. But then practically, you know, you're sitting at home, you're in front of a laptop, you're on your phone, you have limited resources, you're not having your regular routines. What can people do practically? What are like 1, 2, 3 things that people can do right now to set themselves up to start living that kind of unforgettable life?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing that I would say is your routine and your schedule. That is so important, so crucial in order to have an unforgettable life and be successful in hitting, you know, the goals or whatever it is that you are working on. So, you know, even though for me, my routine was always getting up in the morning and going to the gym, obviously I can't do that right now because gyms are closed. So for me, it's still waking up at my designated time, going through my morning routine, which was like journaling, reading, and meditating, and then doing like an at-home workout, and then getting started at work at like 8 a.m. or whatever that may be for you. So still sticking to a schedule allows you to still feel that sort of like normal everyday life that you might be missing right now because things obviously aren't normal. So sticking to like an actual schedule and adapting to what it is going on. So like, you know, if obviously you're not going to work, what can you be doing throughout the day to have that sort of set schedule? But then number 2, you know, if you don't even know what type of schedule to create, first make a list of actually writing down what you want, right? Like so many people are like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like writing down exactly what you want right now or what you want your life to look like in a few months, that will allow you to start to visualize the steps that you need to take in order to get there. So for an example, you know, if let's say you are out of work, but you've always wanted to start an online business. You want to teach people how to play piano. I don't know, something random. You want to teach people how to play piano, but you just haven't had time to do that. So like, what's the first thing you need to do in order to start your online business? Maybe it is just getting more knowledge about how to actually do so. So step 1 could be go to YouTube and watch like 10 YouTube videos on how to start your online business. You could do that for like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then like Thursday and Friday, you can start to put together your offer and your package. Then by the like upcoming Monday, you're actually going out and selling on your social media platforms, whatever that may be. So if you don't know exactly what you want, it's hard to take the steps and the actions or to get to that point. So the first thing is writing down what you want, figure out the actions, and then actually implementing it. If you do the first 2 and you don't implement, then you're not going to see any results with what you're doing. So a combination of that and having a set schedule, I think that really will get you in like the momentum for you to feel like you're actually making progress.
I love that. And the second part of what you're saying sounds very much like my motto. Can you read that?
Start now, start simple. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
exactly. That. You got to find that first step, right? I love people who have goals. I love people who have dreams. I love people who have vision boards. But if it just remains that, then it will always be that. But if you're able to break it down to that first step, like what can you do literally today with the resources you have, you're 1 step closer to that goal. And the next, if you can figure out the next step, you're that much closer to the goal. So a firm believer, you got to start now and start simple. So we've got some comments that are coming in. Nadia, where are you right now? Where in the world are you? Thank you so much for saying wonderful show. And thank you guys. Ram says you set the standard high, Saba, which is amazing. Simeon was asking, was it intimidating? And he said, no, it's for you, Dan. And this was about a story I was sharing about one of my unforgettable moments, which is getting to introduce and share the stage with the one and only President number 44, Obama. And I actually was scared, and I said his name wrong. Not the Obama part, but this was in Germany. There was 8,000 people in the audience. It was a live event. And his Secret Service were the most intimidating. They were petrifying. So many rules, so many laws. Don't do this, don't make eye contact, don't initiate, don't walk towards, all your phone taken away. Like, it was vicious. It was scary. And so I actually ended up, even though I know his name, because my producer in my ear kept on saying, in 20 seconds, you've got, and he said, Barack Obama. in 19 seconds, Barack Obama. And so over and over, I heard Barack Obama. His name is Barack Obama. But because I heard German accent all the time, Barack Obama's coming in, Barack Obama stepped out of the car, Barack Obama's coming to the green room, Barack Obama's now in the main stage, you now introduce Barack. I was like, Barack Obama. And I was like, no, I know his name. It's Barack Obama, but I'd already said it. So it was really intimidating. For sure, it was scary, but Obama himself was wonderful and easy and chill. He had heard me singing right before. It was actually a song that he had done in the White House that I had adapted to this audience. So we ended up talking about music and about his wife and his kids and all that stuff. So he was fine, but his team were scary. Nadia says, currently in Slovakia in the house. Lovely. Thanks for watching from Slovakia. We got people all over the world tuning in, which is fantastic. Saba, you talked about the morning routine, and this is something that fascinates a lot of people. Like, I think a lot of people know they could/should have a morning routine, and then a lot of people don't. They just kind of waltz through life and then try to do like a big pick me up in the middle of the day. I'm like, oh, I've just wasted 3 hours. Like, I got to be productive. And I'm wondering if we can both maybe break it down. How do you create, not just imitate someone, but how do you create a good morning routine? Because I agree with you that, why do we have this riddle up? I agree with you that a morning routine is essential for having an unforgettable life. And especially right now when days bleed into each other and seasons you don't even notice because you're not anywhere out in nature, it can get really disorienting. And I think having a routine is like an anchor. So what to you are the essential ingredients of a good morning routine? And I'm going to go after so that I have more time to think about it than you do. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, I'll just walk through my morning routine, but obviously it's different for every single person. I always start out to say, like, your morning routine should be doing something that really just like pumps you up and gets you in the zone, right?
Yes.
So for me, I'm a morning person. So like originally, like I wake up around like 4:45, like 5 a.m.
Okay.
It's been a little bit later now since the gym. Like I usually get to the gym by 6 a.m., but obviously the gym's not open now. So around like 5:30. 5:30 a.m. is like when I wake up. Then right when I wake up, I have water.
Good.
I have water, and then I have my journal that I grab and I just start journaling. And that really helps me kind of just get in like my state of how I want my day to look like, what's on my mind right now. Because when you wake up, like that's when you're still in like, I don't know what state it is. Like, I think it's like delta state or something. You're in a state where you're kind of in your subconscious mind. So that's where you have like the most of your thoughts right then. So when you write down and journal, that's when you kind of get like ideas and things that you can start to take action on too. So then I spend maybe like 15 minutes journaling. Then I go into meditating. And what that does, that allows you to once again get in your state of flow, and it helps you visualize once again like your goals, how you want your day to look like. And if you do have anxiety, that settles down any anxiety that you do have. After I meditate, I write down all my goals, and usually goals for the day. And then I already have a list of all my goals for like that year that I just read. So repetition, once again, is key. So every single day I'm rereading my goals. And then usually that lasts like maybe like 45 minutes. And then I go into my workout. Now, since I don't go to the gym, I do an at-home workout probably for like 45 minutes. And then from there, I shower, I eat breakfast, and then I get to work. And for me, work is pretty consistent since I have been working from my laptop even before the quarantine. So then I just work, all day. But yeah, like morning routine, it can be different for people. Like some people, they drink coffee in the morning and that really just gets them up and going. Some people go on walks. Some people can go on a run. So it really depends on like your vibration, what really just gets you pumped up and energized. But that's like my routine. I do it every single day, and it really, really does help me once again get in a good state of mind, no matter what the hell is going on in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to do a quick quiz for the audience that's tuned in. Can someone tell me what my 3G Monday stands for? My 3G Monday. That's what I call it. Although now I should move it up to like 5G Monday and find 2 more Gs. But my 3G Monday I would, if someone can tell, because that's a big part of how I start my week well. And I always keep saying, do the stuff that refreshes you and refuels you every Monday morning to set you up for the whole week, but also every morning. And for me, that comes down to something physical. And so I usually run in the morning or do some kind of exercise, into something spiritual. And so for me, it's reading my Bible and praying. It is something emotional, where I try to connect with like journaling and things like that really help me express. So sometimes I was doing the Brendan Burchard journal for a while, then I was just doing a gratitude journal, and it's just like any kind of writing or music, anything that connects me emotionally. I'll do something relational. So connecting with people in my inner circle. I'm not talking about like news feeds. I'm talking like an actual phone conversation, or where I can hear the voice. Or now I'm very lucky to be with my parents. So having breakfast with my parents and just being around them. And so something relational. What am I missing? And then of course something professional, and that's where I write my goals down. And so some people have got it here. So Alex says God, gym, goals. Ram says God, gym, goals. That's right. Those are my 3G Mondays, and I dedicate extra time on a Monday to those. I do those every day, but I just give it more time on a Monday. So those are the pillars that happen in the morning. But actually, I have my calendar here to my left, and every segment is a different color, and I try to make sure that every day I have a little bit of everything. I don't ever want to go through a day where I'm just like physically like running, and never doing anything professional, or a day where I'm just working and nothing relational. And so I color coordinate it so that I can see that I'm having a little piece of everything that makes for a good life every day. I'm not waiting for the weekend to have a good life. I'm not waiting for the holiday to have a good life. I have a good life every day. I put that in my schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah, schedule is really important, having an unforgettable life. But then I guess one of my last questions, and again, if you guys have questions, please comment, and would love to take it. Saba is not afraid of questions. I mean, she does this all the time on podcasts and live streams and TV shows. So there's nothing that can throw her. Feel free to ask questions. But I think one of the last questions that I would have is, how do you know that you're living an unforgettable life? Or how do you measure it so that you know you've gotten there? And it's not just this constant obsession for better without ever recognizing you're actually there, you know?
Yeah. So it kind of is similar to the first question I think you asked me, or one of the questions in the beginning was, like, how do you define happiness? It's doing what you love to do. So for me, like, people always ask me, like, what does like being unforgettable and living an unforgettable life mean to you? And for me, it's about inspiring and showing other people the capabilities that they can't see within themselves. So for me, it took me a long time to get out of like my shell. I was really shy. I had a lot of insecurities. So when I first met my mentor when I was 19, I think he actually was on the show last week, Brandon Adams.
Yeah.
He was on the show. So he was my first mentor, and he brought me out of my shy shell. So for me, like that's like, if I'm helping people see that within themselves, like that's what defines me. Like that's what defines my unforgettable life. Like if I'm doing that every single day, like that's what makes me happy. So it's different for every single person. So when you identify like what genuinely makes you happy, maybe it is just spending more time with your family. Maybe it is, you know, going out and speaking on stages, or maybe it is like being a police officer, like whatever that may be. Like if you're making that sort of like impact on someone or something, whether it is like once again a family member or somebody else that you may not even know, then you're on that right track. Because even us as like, you know, entrepreneurs, and especially entrepreneurs, like it's always like the next goal, the next goal, the next goal. So we're never like, in a sense, sometimes like happy. So it's always about like the journey and the process that you're going through rather than the destination. Right. So for me, if I know I'm progressing every single day, and I think Tony Robbins says this all the time, like if you're growing, then you're happy. So if you're working towards that goal, then it's like then it's like golden. you know,
Yes.
because I find myself, because like even like I've had like mental breakdowns within the past like few weeks. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't go out, I can't go to the gym. I just moved here. Like I had a plan. Like I'm a very scheduled and planned person. So I had a been in quarantine out for like 2 months and I haven't been able to connect or network with anyone. So I was like, oh my gosh, this like sucks. But like it's just about shifting your perspective and seeing what you can do with the time that you do have right now, only here now in the present, to still create that unforgettable life and having that connection. And now with you, Dan, this could turn into something completely extraordinary, like something that I didn't even think about that was in my plan, right? So if you just seek and look at the opportunities and the clues that come up into your life every single day, and you're open and you have connections and you do talk to people, then it will lead you down that path that you might not even know existed. So that was like a long-winded answer, but that was
I
it.
love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is a great answer. And I love the segments you were sharing there about the journey, not just the destination, about growing and just growing is being happy. So those are all fantastic. And I think those are like themes that have been coming around a lot. And when you see life as a journey, then you realize that even this station right now is part of that journey.
Mhm.
And this isn't the final chapter. This doesn't even have to be the most important chapter, is just, but it is a chapter and it's part of your life. And that is piece of it too. David has a question here and he says, when you say you work after your morning routine, what is your profession?
Yeah. So work. So what I do is, so I mainly coach and consult. So I work with a lot of online business owners, helping them increase their sales, whether that's high ticket offers, selling their coaching programs, courses, whatever that may be, helping them develop an unforgettable brand and do that all through organic marketing strategies. So if you look me up on like Instagram or Facebook, I'm very active on social media. So all of my business is online. So I'm pretty much helping other business owners do the same thing. So when it comes to work, it's either doing calls with my clients, creating content, which I do a lot. Once again, if you look on my social media, it might be doing interviews like this. So yeah, my schedule, it does depend every single day what I'm doing, but like the majority is doing client calls, having conversations with people, and then creating content.
Great. If you do want to check out what she's up to, that's the website right there, sabaali.com. And then on the bottom, it says something like socialize with me, or I like to socialize or something. And it's got like all of her social media icons and some photos and stuff. So do check it out because there are tons of great content available. I know my sister's messaging from Ecuador. And Ram is also messaging that there seems to be some kind of like signal interference. Hopefully everyone's able to hear everything again. But yes, hopefully we're back to having a decent sound. This question comes from Israel and it says, fascinating to look at your goals for the year every day. I'll have to try that too. Question: how do you want your life to be remembered?
Yeah, so I love that question. So it's pretty much the same thing of what I said earlier. I want people to remember me as, oh, she actually cared about other people to show them what they couldn't see within themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like when I feel like I really do have that superpower. And the reason why is because I do a lot of speaking too, when I go to events, when I go to networking events, when I speak on stages, and when I have conversations with people, I'm a listener. So I allow people to express themselves and I pretty much just show them and am that guide for them to show them it's possible for their goals or their aspirations, whatever they are working towards. So when you have a conversation with me, whether that is on the phone or in person, you will walk away knowing like, wow, I can actually do this. Right. So that's the main thing that people will remember me by.
I love that. I love that. And that's such a cool gift to have identified for yourself. And that's such a cool gift to share with people because that does empower people and get them started and get them believing themselves. Saba, this has been such a delight.
Yeah, this is amazing.
We have crossed paths and we've known each other for a while, but we've never actually shared a screen and been in the same space. So I'm really grateful for David who connected us. David who initially told me about you. And it's so cool because yes, Brandon was on the show last week, and I know other people that are in our networks have been on the show. And about the whole unforgettable life, and you said this earlier, so I'm just going to recap. I'm going to end with this. You never know what life's going to throw at you.
Yeah.
The only thing you can, and this is what you said, the only thing you can control is your response to it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you respond positively, when you respond proactively, when you respond with enthusiasm, you never know how the little steps can open up huge opportunities. Everything that Saba has accomplished started with little steps and just doing something with the moment that she had. Everything that you guys know me for is because at some point I just took a step, and it didn't seem significant then. It didn't seem important then, and yet it was essential. And right now, today, tomorrow, is all part of these steps. And who knows, this daily show could end up with me replacing James Corden, even though I love the man, but you never know. You never know. You never know how. And so for everyone, that is true for them. Every single one of you that's watching, take the step, do something. If you haven't had a morning routine, hopefully you're inspired, and you can, for those of you who are catching the show now, like watch it on replay, and Saba essentially goes through exactly what she does in the morning. If you are curious about how to define success and happiness, again, watch it on replay. I think there's so much from today's conversation that's worth re-listening to again. But I just want to say, Saba, you're fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And
thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. If you could wait backstage for 2 minutes, I'm just going to say goodbye to these wonderful folks, and I'm going to join you backstage. All right? All right. So that was the wonderful Saba Ali. I am going to share with you her website right over here. As you know, if I can help you, I will. And if that involves directing you some of the resources that our amazing speakers have. This week, we've got some sensational speakers, everyone from like Saba, who makes a career helping people achieve their goals and their dreams and to identify their goals and dreams. And if you want to find out more about that, go on the website or contact me and I'll make a connection. We've got an amazing coach who helps people write their book in 30 days. So that's ever been your goal, to document a part of your life or your skill or your knowledge in 30 days. She's going to come on. We've got a Christian rapper on the show, followed by an amazing producer who worked with some of the biggest artists on the show. We've got a whole variety of fantastic guests. Tomorrow, we have got an inspirational relationship guru, because for a lot of people, this time has increased some social relationships, but it's also caused a lot of anxiety and stress on some relationships. And so we're going to talk about the good and bad of it tomorrow. So we've got some amazing guests. Please tell your friends about it. And David and I are working on a very cool surprise for everyone on the final day of the live stream. Right now, we're not going to tell you who, but we're working on a global concert. An evening or a morning or an afternoon, depending on where you tuned in, of just pure entertainment. Some of the amazing musicians we've had and some of the amazing speakers we've had, maybe sharing a little bit of an orchestra from around the world. So just trying to do stuff to elevate and bring joy and hope. And I hope you are enjoying the show. If you've got feedback, please tell me. I'm doing the show for you and for me. I enjoy it too. I'm not going to lie. It is great fun connecting with great speakers and connecting with you guys. But it's primarily to just be a blessing to everyone. So this is our show. And if there's someone you want me to interview or bring on the show, let me know. If you have some ideas about segments that we can do on the show, let me know. If you'd like to be on the show, let me know. That's all I got to say. And I'm going to end with what I say every single day. Today is a gift. Don't be afraid to start now. Start simple. And we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.